I'm Jimmy Bach, and this is History with Jimmy, along with my producer, Chandler Holmes. This is episode 12. We have done different ones on military people, and today we're going to continue that with episode 12. And the first person that I'm going to be talking about today is this gentleman, Peter Hobbes. Peter Hobbes was a Shickshinny resident. He was one of the few who died in France in World War I, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And his body was actually shipped home here and buried with his family in the Pine Hill Cemetery in Shickshinny. A lot of the soldiers and women nurses never made it home from France in World War I. They were buried in Flanders fields. And we had two nurses, a nurse Davenport and a nurse Watkins, who passed away over in France. So one of the things that I want to talk about is people that passed away over there. The information that we have here is there. Peter Hobbes was actually in 5 major battles. This was given to us and donated to us by Frank Avina. The medal that you find here shows the battles that he was in, and it tells here, this is a victory medal with 5 battle class, denoting participation in major ground effects. Awarded to Peter Rollin Hobbes, Shickshinny, PA, Company K, 11th Infantry, 28th Division. He was killed in Musen River in the Argonne Forest Offensive, October 4th, 1918. He was 23 years old. His family was very prominent. If you come to the museum and you'd like to see more about his family, we have another book in the cabinet back there. It tells pictures of different things that him on a horse, some of his family. His father is actually here. We have his whole family picture. His father actually died on Cheryl and I's front porch. We found that in a news article going backwards. So the next person that I'm going to be talking about is the gentleman you see here, and his name is Jesse E. Thomas. The American Legion on 239 is named after Jesse Thomas. Jesse Thomas entered the service of his country December 12th, 1917, and died in France on September the 6th, 1918, of shell wounds received while in action. He being one of a number of battery that was cited for bravery, and at the time of the death, he was 25 years old and 8 months. He was a member of Battery B, 109th Field Artillery, and his cousin, Beach Lutz, was with him when he breathed his last breath. So the Lutz family was very prominent in the community as well, and this was something that we have more information on that as well. The next thing I'm going to read to you, my grandmother, Gertrude Sands Bach, apparently was in a lot of plays. And she bought these plays, and we have a whole collection of them. But one of them was very interesting to me. It was copyrighted in 1932 by Charles Gorge. And this came from Sioux City, Iowa. And it's a play that about 2 men. Now, today you'll see a lot of things, especially on the internet, about the paranormal, about apparitions being seen, rising up and stuff. This gentleman, I don't know how he did this play, because it's about 2 soldiers that died in France. So it is not political, it's not religious, has nothing to do with those. It's about things that were happening that they came back from the dead to see, and some of the things pertain to many things that's happening today, and that's why I thought it was important to read this particular play. So it said, "There are those who contend that the dead return in spirit to watch over those they left behind in the mortal world. If such is the case, let us imagine in this year of our Lord, 2 buddies, pals, who enlisted in the AEF in 1917 return in spirit to their native city where they were born and reared. When the Great War broke out, Raymond Smith and Lee Thompson, fired with patriotism and the desire to protect their beloved country, were among the first to enlist. Eventually, they found themselves on the battle-scarred fields of France, where they found their last resting place underneath the poppies of Flanders fields. The years have rolled on. One night they find their immortal selves roaming and familiar scenes, renewing old acquaintances who have long since forgotten them or their sacrifices. Hey, looks familiar, doesn't it, Lee? You mean the streets and the houses? Yes, they all look quite the same as they did when we went away, but that's about all. Everything else is different, Ray. Our mothers and our families are still here, Lee. Yes, I know. I heard Mother say her prayers tonight and ask for the peace and rest of my soul. She is one who never forgets. Mothers never forget, Lee. We're still with them every day. And even though we've been gone all these years, there isn't a day that they don't count some incident in our lives that was dear to them. And how brave they were when they heard that we had been killed in action, and how they made supreme sacrifices, giving their sons for their country. That's why I think they need protection now, Ray. If we can only come back to them and do something about this dreadful state of affairs that hovers over our country today. What do you mean? Haven't you noticed as we strolled about tonight? Why, Ray, this country needs more men like us now than ever before. When the peace and safety of our shores and the loved ones were threatened the way they were back in 1917, not for an instant did we hesitate to rush to the protection of both. We were among the first to enlist, and thousands of brave soldiers, fellows, gave up their lives, their happiness, their careers, to go on to certain death or hardship. Willingly, they were ready to defend everything that was dear to them. And we won too, Lee. Yes, we won the war. That is true. It's very true. But did we win the safety of our nations and our loved ones? Why, what do you mean? Instead of making the world safe for democracy, I'm afraid we made it safe for a deadly enemy to mankind. Enemy? I don't know what you mean, Lee. I shall never forget the day we sailed away from New York for France. The bands were playing. The flags were flying. People were cheering. We were a large and prosperous nation going to a war with a country that was trying to oppress us in rights and spirit. Our patriotism was aroused. Our manhood rebelled. And we went forth to conquer, which we did. We went through mud, filth, terror, grim horror, pain, suffering, and then death. But we died with a smile on our face, for we knew it was a cause and a good one. You died in my arms, Lee, and as you did, you looked up and said to me, Mother and sister will be safe, and the world will be at peace again someday. And now, Ray, I feel that I have died in vain. Mother and sister are not safe, the world is not at peace, and those little crosses on Flanders fields are a mockery. There is hunger, starvation, unrest in this glorious nation of ours. Little children are being shot down by racketeers, by lawless gunmen. Honest merchants are being intimidated by racketeers who are making a dishonest living by means of extortion. Gang wars are taking place, each faction trying to outwit the others in defiance of law. You know, Lee, you're right. Our laws are being openly ridiculed and our Constitution defamed. Did you notice on Maple Avenue, which was in our time a decent, self-respecting neighborhood, there was not less than 12 speakeasies there. Yes, Ray, I did, and it made me sad to see them selling their unlawful products to young men and women, checking their careers and ruining their lives. This is a much greater menace threatening our country today than in 1917. If allowed to continue, it will certainly destroy the nation we loved. It affects our far-reaching and devastating. Where is the spirit of America, Lee, that allows such conditions to exist? Where is the manhood of this nation that it does not organize to stamp out and crush the public enemy, just as we mobilized in 1917 for the defense of our nation? There would be unrest in every grave in Flanders Fields if they knew the conditions that exist in America today. There would be a general cry of "Wake up, America," and protect the sanctity of your homes, the virtue of your women, the progress of your business interests without interference, and make these outlaws respect your laws and preserve peace and tranquility. We fought to make the world safe for democracy, so don't you feel that we have sacrificed and died in vain? You're right, Lee. America has another battle to win, a fight against crime and degradation. It has never lost a battle yet, and when we visit here again in spirit, I hope that we shall see that America has again conquered an enemy. And when this is accomplished, the poppies that bloom above our grave will nod their heads gaily in the breeze as a symbol of our complete happiness. If we can make ourselves heard tonight, would you join me in crying from the rooftops, Ray? The same that you have at this moment, Lee. Wake up, America, wake up. So today I ask you, as you talk about veterans, about these two men and so many others, men and women that have died for our country, to remember them every day of the year, because we have freedom that other countries don't have. I ask you also to remember the police officers, the first responders that also risked their lives to help this country. Thank you again for watching. I hope that you will pass this episode 12 on to others to watch, and click the like button as it gets more people to come, and come to the FLT Museum to see history. Thank you again. This is Jim Bach with my producer Chandler Holmes signing off. Thank you very much for watching.